So what I decided we're going to talk about, kind of came up with this along with the others here, is the new Nvidia leaks. So what are your guys' thoughts on what's going on? I haven't done a whole lot of research on this yet, but I have seen a little bit. So some of the leaks release some information regarding, say, a new Nintendo Switch. Okay, whether that be a Pro or the Switch 2, whatever that's going to be. Like I said, these are leaks. I put very little actual faith in leaks. But some of it is actually good stuff because companies sometimes intentionally leak things just to get some anticipation flowing. Nintendo's not known to do this. So odds are it had nothing to do with Nintendo.
No, and from what I've heard, they're pretty upset, actually.
That's kind of what I'm getting as well.
They're always upset if anything happens with their product, which I understand.
Because Nvidia is very notorious for being very strict in their controls.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though, too. If the fact that Nintendo is actually mad about it,
last bunch of years,
doesn't
they're
that
terrible.
kind of show you that it's accurate?
Yeah.
Because if it was just some random thing where if I was like, oh yeah, hey guys, the Switch Pro is going to come out in a few years, going to be able to do 4K 60, and it's going to have, and I'm just pulling random numbers and making stuff up, Nintendo wouldn't care. But if I was showing accurate numbers and I was talking like, hey, this is going to be it and this is what it's going to be like, and they were all accurate, that's when Nintendo would get mad. So the fact that they're mad about this is showing that their leaks are more than likely true.
So this is interesting. I kind of just looked some of it up so I can get some more info. But apparently one of the leaked tweets or whatever says that this tech they're using is going to have ray tracing support and DLSS 2.2, whatever that means.
Yeah, good.
But ray tracing, that's got to be pretty beefy compared to what we have now.
I'll be honest, dude. Ray tracing's kind of a gimmick.
It really is.
Big
But
gimmick,
it's a gimmick.
You have to have
anything's heavy duty compared to what Nintendo has right now.
It's really true.
My cell phone runs better games than a Switch. Like, let's be real.
So anything is a plus. That's what
It's
we're
really
saying.
true.
That's what I'm saying. But ray tracing, that's ray tracing. That's just like the thing to say.
Honestly, the DLSS
It's been around for a long time.
That's what I'm excited for.
That's the big thing right there. Is the DLSS.
DLSS is a huge thing because for those of you guys that don't know, basically what it is it will run your games. It'll render them at a lower resolution, then use AI to upscale it to the higher one, so you get much better frames. That's the very the layman's terms, I guess.
That's a very simple way to put it. We could go into far greater detail of it, but
yeah. So for instance, if you have a 4K TV, you're playing on 4K. It will render your game in 1080p or sometimes even lower, and then use AI to upscale it. So that way it's rendering a way lower resolution, and that way you have better frame rates. So that's essentially what that is. It's going to help it run a lot smoother. But ray tracing, like Chucko says, it's a buzzword. And I mean, honestly, I have an RTX graphics card. I never turned ray tracing on.
Because it's such a hit to the performance.
It kills performance. Like, I keep it off all the time on purpose.
Same.
It doesn't do anything other than hurt your game. It looks beautiful for screenshots. Don't get me wrong. It looks beautiful.
It's just not
when
playable.
done right, but it's... Yeah, I have not had a game yet that I've played with ray tracing. I'm like, you know what? I like this. I mean, where I keep it on. It's like, I like this. It looks cool for 5-10 minutes. They're like, you know what? I'd rather play at something that's not 30 FPS. I'm going to move up so I can play at 100,
I've done my own tests, and I have a 2080 Super, right?
Yeah.
I've had it with the ray tracing on and off. I get a solid, on average, 60 frame increase by turning it off. And that's an average.
It's insane for sure.
And 60 FPS is what should be the minimum. Yeah. These days, that should be your minimum. Like, there's no excuse for modern GPUs, especially not at the 80 series level, to not perform at 60 FPS.
Absolutely.
But there were times where it would dip down below 30.
Yeah.
There was one game I was running, I can't remember which one it was, but it went down about 12 to 13 because it was on.
On a 3080 Super.
2080
Super, my bad. 2080 Super.
Yes.
Wow.
That's how much of a gimmick it is.
All I'm saying is take advantage of new hardware, man.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Nintendo, make use of, if some of the leaks are correct, whatever, we don't know. Make use of it, go ham. We've been waiting for a while.
Like we said, that's my biggest beef with Nintendo at this point is their graphics. And they just won't take it seriously.
But if they add DLSS and they're actually able to get some of that new technology, that's going to be huge.
And they can.
Yeah.
They can.
Then that
It's
just
just whether or not they feel it's time or not.
Yeah. So was there anything else that was out of these leaks that?
Besides all the employees' critical data.
Oh, that all got leaked too.
A lot of employees' critical data. Yeah.
Oh no.
Well done.
So yeah, there was lots of stuff that was leaked. It wasn't just that. They also leaked apparently a few games are supposed to be released or something like that. I don't know how accurate that list is going to be, of course, but
well, they had something that got leaked from Nvidia.
Maybe that was a crossover of different ones.
That was like last year, where they were putting release dates. I think we actually touched up on it here earlier, like at some point last year. We were talking about this.
We probably did.
I think I
It's
remember.
been a few moons since then, though.
We touched up on it with a bunch of games release dates, but I don't remember that list off the top of my head, obviously. But no, Samsung had a similar leak issue too.
I think they're just moving on from Nvidia to Samsung.
Well, Samsung, though, what I'm saying is they had a leak with like their cell phone stuff, where there was 200 gigs worth of.
Oh yeah.
Like of their kernel code, like all this different stuff, that we got leaked, and it's like, that's.
And seriously, these companies have no excuse for getting hacked.
They have
no excuse. I am studying for my master's in cybersecurity. This is child's play. And they have no excuse for any of this. Like, seriously.
Like,
I get really peeved when I hear about this stuff.
Yeah, imagine Samsung. You have all these resources at your disposal. Disposal.
There we go. Thank you.
And you're gonna get hacked like that. It's like
generic corporate mindset. They don't care about preventative measures until something actually happens.
Yeah, and then they spend way more in damage control than they spend in preventative maintenance.
Mm-hmm. And that's horrible. You have to realize the old saying of an ounce of preventative is worth more than a pound of cure holds very true with cybersecurity. Like, seriously, I just got through writing entire essays.
Any corporate company.
I know, right?
I'm not going to lie, anything.
But I get so frustrated hearing about this stuff because they have no excuse. It's not even that expensive. They're just being stupid about it,
Yeah. Like, Speaking of stupid, this is kind of off topic, but did you hear about the app that got pulled off of the Play Store? It was a two-factor authenticator app.
Okay.
And they actually had to pull it because it was siphoning out people's login data and banking information and stealing people's money out of their bank accounts because they would use the two-factor app for it. So Google had to pull it. And that's just another one of those things where
it was literally like a malware.
Yeah, it installed a virus onto your phone that would start siphoning
your money. How does that get on to Play Store, for one?
They don't have nearly strict enough control. On the opposite side, iOS has too strict of controls.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Their controls are too strict. Google Play's is not strict enough. They need a happy medium in there. But I do want to clarify something for those of you viewing. Two-factor authentication is a great thing. Make sure you get it for anything that offers
it. Absolutely. Just
I want to clarify that.
Don't use a weird app for it.
Well, there are certain apps that are good. Like, there's the Google Authenticator app.
Well,
Authy is a really good one.
You should be able to tell the difference between a malware app like that and something that's legitimate.
Like, one of them that I use myself is called Authy. It's really good.
I tried that one, and I just keep using the Google one.
Google's actually inferior. They actually track more information than Authy does. But it
should do the exact same thing.
They do the exact same thing. They function identically for the most part. Mm-hmm. But I will say this: if you have the option to utilize two-factor authentication, use it. That goes for everybody here too, as well as everybody out there. Trust me, I'm studying this stuff.
Oh, the app was just called 2FA Authenticator, and it had
that's lame.
And it had over 10,000
two-factor authenticator.
Yes, that's what it was called. Was 2FA Authenticator, and it had over 10,000 people that downloaded it, but it was storing people's login information and put a virus onto their phone to get to their banking information, and it would start stealing money out of their bank accounts.
Before you download anything, take a look at it and just observe and see what it is. If it looks any jank at all, don't download it.
Not only that, but especially for something like this,
right,
where it is your security on the line. Don't go with any secondary places. Go only with the absolute most trusted.
Look at the app logo.
That is obviously lame and fake.
I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see. Maybe not.
I don't feel sorry for these people.
No, they're idiots if they fell for that.
Now, just look at it. even design and stuff, it's gonna look terrible.
That's
a lot of
awful.
that garbage looks exactly
I
like
have
that garbage.
students who absolutely abhor my Android Studio class who could design something better than that. And I'm looking at their screenshots from down below that too.
Oh yeah.
My students could
Look
create
at all the
that in a couple
info.
hours.
Look at all the info, their app design, or graphic design. Look
Heck,
at
did one of my
reviews.
students
If it's
create
all
that?
weird,
Just kidding, just
if
kidding.
any of it looks weird, like just say no.
Honestly, I
When
would
in
love
doubt-
to sit here and just go into a big slew
When in
about
doubt,
cybersecurity.
Google
but
it. Look at reviews, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know.
No, seriously. Use two-factor authentication, but get a legitimate authenticator app. Okay, that's what I'm telling everybody right now. Use it, but make sure it's a legit one first. And if you need a list, let me know. I can send you a list of actual, like, legitimate ones that you can actually trust.
Yeah.
Okay, shoot me a message on Twitter. I guess I check it every now and then. I'll get it. Or send it to him and he'll ask me and I can send it through him. That's fine too.
Or you could send it to him and then tell me that you sent it, and then that way I can text him and say, hey.
That's true. I'm really bad at checking messages. I'm sorry
He's
for the record.
absolutely terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
But if I text him and
it's really
say,
bad.
if I text him and say, hey, you got a DM on Twitter from someone, he'll check it.
I'll check
So,
it. I won't respond to him, but I'll check the messages. It's the way it goes.
I'm used to getting ignored, Wes.
I'm not going to lie and like pretend I'm better than that. I'm not.
I'm used to getting ignored. It's okay.
We won't get
Shut
replies
up,
from
Jordan.
Weston until like 2 weeks later.
It's true for them.
That's how it works.
I'm probably one of the absolute worst people I know about responding to messages.
I know somebody worse, but
I am definitely not good. And I don't pretend to be good. I'm one of those that'll receive a message and just consider it answered if it's not an obvious answer from me.
yeah.
So, but yeah, seriously, if you need that list, shoot me a message. If you want any other recommendations for cybersecurity, anybody, just let me know. It's only kind of my major, so.
True. So anything else with the leaks from Nvidia?
No, we'll just have to see. We'll probably find out.
Hopefully they blow everyone's minds.
I really actually hope that these are true because Nintendo needs something to bring themselves
Dude,
into the
oh
new
my
era.
God.
They need something like
Nintendo's
this.
hardware is a joke. Like,
It's not even a funny joke.
I love this
Logan's
Switch.
like, no, don't.
I love
Don't
the
start.
Switch. It has fun games, but it is so just poor.
You can
Okay.
only go so far with like old age stuff. Like
Yeah, no,
the games are phenomenal.
Trust me, I'm right there with you. If that all comes to fruition, I'm actually absolutely
yeah,
ecstatic.
so go
for it.
ham. Hopefully,
But
man.
I think it's kind of, you can't really say they need it when they're had the highest selling system right now, you know, and like they're out.
Well,
No one else can find the
you
Xbox
realize
and
that
PlayStation.
nobody can get a PlayStation 5 or an
No,
Xbox Series
I
X.
understand that, but before like the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles, like Nintendo.
Well, it's because they have
without
high
the-
quality games themselves. But the
Yeah.
problem is that they could do so much better.
Yeah, they
They're
could.
still being super lazy back then.
Mhm.
They have great games, but they were very lazy in their hardware.
Yeah, but
And if they actually took it and gave it that extra edge, they could easily destroy some of the others, you know?
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, they have super iconic IPs, so
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine playing some of those iconic IPs just in
where it
proper
just freaking
resolution?
plays and works good,
Right?
looks good,
Doesn't have random frame stutters.
doesn't look like
Looks
graphics
at you,
from
Breath of the Wild.
10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know Breath of the Wild just is a stuttery mess at times. It's
I actually never had stuttering issues when I played Breath of the
Really?
Wild. Yeah.
you might be the only person.
Okay. I very rarely have it, but I have managed to get it to happen.
Yeah.
But it's because I'm overloading my system with too much stuff. So I blame myself partially for that, but it's the hardware that won't let me do it.
True.
You know? I could do just as much on one of the other consoles and be just fine.
You know what? Let's overclock the Switch on liquid nitrogen.
Shut up, Jordan.
Let's do it.
Let's not
We're gonna
say we
LN2 cool a Switch.
All right, your Switch.
No.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
We
we're
do
doing
with
it to your
yours.
Switch.
No.
that's how it
It's
works,
done.
Jordan.
Deal.
Your idea, your Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I like this.
We'll do it if it's yours.
I don't even know where my Switch is at right now. I'm gonna be
You see?
honest.
So you're not going to miss
A
it.
simple excuse.
No, it's not plugged in.
So you're not going to miss it. You see? I think we got a plan here.
All right,
I know where it's at.
It's right there.
Nope. Don't touch it.
All right, let's do this, guys.
comment. Let us know if you want this to happen.
Yep.